everyone, my name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be both summarizing and reviewing the 15th novel in Terry Pratchett's Discworld series Men-at-Arms, starting with the summary. Carrot writes to his parents and explains that he has been made corporal, the Watch has new recruits, and Captain Vimes is leaving the Watch to get married. Carrot does not know who will be named captain in Vimes' place. Edward Death, assassin and 37th Lord Death, attends his father's funeral before re-enrolling in the guild school for the graduate course. He is clearly not a fan of the patrician. After 5 months, Edward finally finds what he's looking for, Carrot. After further investigation, Edward realizes that Ankh-Morpork had a king again. That's on page 7. Edward meets with a group of Ankh-Morpork's aristocrats and shows them a ring he found at the site where Carrot's parents were killed. Slides with evidence pointing to his discovery. Carrot is their king. The aristocrats don't want to listen. Carrot and Angua, a new recruit, catch a thief named Here Now, who is placed in protective custody. The new recruits take the oath and receive the king's shilling. Carrot prevents a fight from breaking out between trolls and dwarves, who had been marching in 2 separate ethnic parades with his charisma. The world explodes. Vime thinks about his meeting with Mr. Morcombe, the Ramkins family's solicitor. When he weds Sybil, Vime will be given all of her properties, which are worth $7 million a year, although he gains access to her accounts at the time of this meeting with Mr. Morcombe. The world explodes. Vime thinks it's the alchemists. When he looks out of the window, he notices a column of dust rising over the Assassin's Guild. The Watch goes to investigate, but are barred from entry at the guild's gates. Ingua follows a mongrel dog into an alleyway, and Vimes demands that the Master of Assassins be brought to him. Gaspeau tries to bargain with Ingua, a stake to jog his memory. Vimes and his men take a look around the site of the explosion. Dr. Cruces, Master of Assassins, claims the destruction was the work of fireworks. Gaspeau informs Angua that someone used a dragon-in-a-box explosive to cause the destruction. It was an assassin who blended with the crowd following all of the commotion. Vimes is informed by Dr. Cruces that nothing was stolen from the guild during the explosion. The Watch departs. Dr. Cruces speaks to the guild council. He wants the place cleaned up. Anyone who leaves to be watched. The premises searched, and no one to speak to the Watch. The Watch discusses how things didn't add up at the crime scene. Something had definitely been stolen. It didn't smell fireworks, but dragon. Angua mentions that an exploding dragon could have blown a hole in the guild's wall. Edward unwraps the item he stole. While out on patrol, Vimes and Carrot find the remains of a dragon's collar hanging from a gargoyle's ear. Dr. Cruces visits the patrician and demands that he call Vimes off. The patrician agrees to do so. After speaking with Sybil, Vimes and Carrot realize that the deceased dragon had been looking in a mirror and trying to make himself bigger than himself until he exploded. That's on page 91. Vimes meets with the patrician and is ordered to cease his investigation into the theft at the Assassin's Guild and the recently murdered dwarf blacksmith, Bjorn Hammerhawk. Vimes isn't happy. The Watch finds a card stuck to Colin's shoe. Angua, the werewolf, transforms. Angua and Gaspeau sniff around Hammerhawk's workshop. They smell a mixture of things which include fireworks, human fear, a human male, and a dwarf. They follow the trail and eventually lose it in the city. Vimes attends a dinner his fiancé hosts for the city's aristocrats. He's ever so thrilled. Carrot interrupts the dinner to show Vimes the card the rest of the Watch had found, a card Vimes is convinced was taken from the crime scene at the Assassin's Guild. A single word is written upon the card, gone. Vimes thinks the missing card is related to the dead dwarf and invites Carrot to investigate Hammerhawk's workshop. Carrot and Vimes investigate the workshop and find a hole in the wall, which reveals a small lead disc, a sheet of paper with familiar symbols on it, and a couple of strands of long, red hair. When they leave the workshop, they find a clown's corpse floating in the river. After fishing it out so Carrot can write a report, Vimes decides to disobey the patrician's orders and figure out what is going on. The dead clown is identified as Beano. He was hit on the back of the head. Vimes thinks the 2 murders are related. New recruits Detritus and Cuddy are sent to the Alchemist Guild to see what the alchemist can make of the paper found at the crime scene. Detritus and Cuddy learn that the paper was Leonard of Quirms and contains the formula for number 1 powder, which is used in fireworks. Cuddy wants to speak with Leonard, but is unable since he disappeared a few years prior. Detritus notices a doodle on the paper which Cuddy believes resembles a crossbow without the bow. That's on page 150. It's labeled Enoget, which is the Gon backwards. Colin and Nobby pay a visit to the Fool's Guild. A man named Boffo informs them that the guild believes Beano's death was an accident. No one would want to kill him. Boffo also mentions that Beano looked odd the last time he saw him, yesterday morning. As he sees the Watchman out, Boffo seems to backtrack and indicate that the death was really the work of the Assassin's Guild, and tells the Watchman to find his nose. That's on page 157. Nobby and Colin realize that something doesn't add up. Beano looked like he had been dead for a couple of days, so it wouldn't have been possible for Boffo to have seen him the day before. They believe the captain will find this information very interesting. The new owner of the Gon decides to kill Vimes. Vimes is attacked with a ranged weapon. He goes after his attacker but cannot find them. Vimes speaks to one of the gargoyles on the opera house's roof, where his attacker had shot at him from. The gargoyle informs him that his attacker had a fireworks stick. Vimes steps on something metallic. Carrot shows Angua around the city. They stop at the Beggars Guild and discover that there has been another murder. The latest is Lettuce Nibs, Queen Molly's maid. Queen Molly being the guild leader. The Watchmen find a shattered mirror and glass in the room where Lettuce died, as well as a metal slug. Carrot thinks it's the work of a new weapon, and upon learning that the room the body was found in is Molly's dressing room, comes to believe that the killer was after Molly, not Lettuce. Carrot sniffs the slug. It smells like fireworks. Carrot wants to tell Vimes what they found. He thinks Lettuce was killed by the same weapon that killed Hammerhawk. Detritus spots a running man while out on patrol with Cuddy. Cuddy and Detritus chased after the running man. The thing Vimes had picked up looks kinda like a short set of handpipes. He reads Colin and Cuddy's reports, bringing himself up to date on things. He looks at the sketch on the piece of paper attached to Cuddy's report and wonders what it could be. He comes to the conclusion that it's a new type of weapon. Cuddy and Detritus follow the running man into an alley. Cuddy smells fireworks. The pair proceed with caution. They chase the figure into the Pork Futures warehouse. It fires at them before running past them and out the door. Vimes is arrested by the captain of the Day Watch and his men and brought before the patrician. The patrician instructs Vimes to stop his investigations again. Vimes won't. The patrician asks for his sword and badge. Vimes is allowed to keep his badge when he protests. He turns over his sword. Vimes is informed that the Day Watch will disarm the Night Watch. The Night Watch is on leave. It is implied that the Day Watch will be taking over for them. Vimes is allowed to keep his badge as long as he doesn't put a single toe out of line. The runner gets away from both Cuddy and Detritus. The patrician speaks with his prisoner, Leonard of Quirm. He informs Leonard that the Gond was never destroyed and his Gond missing. Leonard believes only a very clever man could create another. The patrician begins to fear he may have gone too far with Vimes. Detritus and Cuddy fall into an underground tunnel. They find footprints and make another discovery. They intend to fetch and inform Carrot. Vimes tells the Watch, minus Detritus and Cuddy, what the patrician said. Nobby mentions that Quirk, captain of the Day Watch, closed the case. He arrested Coalface the Troll, but the Watch knows that can't be right. Vimes can't find it in him to care. Captain Quirk and his men arrive to disarm the Night Watch and begin their work. Vimes departs. Tensions within the city rise because of both the murders and arrest. Cuddy and Detritus return to the yard and tell the others what happened. Carrot agrees to accompany them back into the tunnels to see their discovery for himself. Detritus and Cuddy lead Carrot to the body they found in the underground tunnels, which are really sewers. It's the corpse of someone who looks remarkably like Beano. Carrot doesn't want them telling anyone about it and decides they'll come back for it later, with a sack. Scully Muldoon, a member of the Day Watch, arrives at the yard and informs everyone that the trolls have attacked the watch house. Carrot and the others intend to form a militia to defend the city. The Watch discovers that the palace has been lit on fire and dwarves and trolls are causing chaos all over the city. Carrot intends to speak with the Day Watch about Coalface's arrest. The Watch arms itself at the armory and takes on 2 new members, a pair of trolls named Flint and Moraine. Carrot intends to lead them to the Fool's Guild so they can ask some more questions. The Fool's and Assassin's Guilds are back to back. Carrot gets Dr. Whiteface, the head of the Fool's Guild, to admit that Beano had cut a hole through the wall before he died. Carrot wants to be shown the hole. The hole is in the clown's bedroom and links to a student's room in the Assassin's Guild. Carrot suggests Beano was behind everything, the explosion, etc. Whiteface thinks he was killed by an assassin for trespassing. Now that everything is settled, the militia leaves with the exception of Carrot and Angua. They are to be shown the Clown Museum, the Hall of Faces. Carrot and Angua tour the Hall of Faces and speak with Boffo. Carrot realizes Beano had a friend in the Assassin's Guild. Surmises that someone in the Assassin's Guild wanted a way into the Fool's Guild, killed Beano, and took both his wig and nose. He used both identities to steal the Gon and was then killed himself. Angua investigates the Assassin's Guild in her wolf form and discovers that the room with a hole in it belongs to Edward Death. The militia arrives at the watch house and recruits several new members from the mob of dwarves and trolls gathered outside. Carrot relieves Quirk of command and knocks him out with a punch. Coalface is set free. Carrot says he'll know who killed Hammerhawk tomorrow, narrowly avoiding a riot. Angua and Carrot compare notes. They know the room belonged to Edward. Carrot thinks he stole the Gon and killed Beano. The assassins are looking for him, but Edward's dead. Angua and Carrot know there's another killer on the loose. Carrot discovers Angua is a werewolf. The new murderer's thoughts reveal Edward's plan to kill all the guild leaders, leaving Ankh-Morpork leaderless and in chaos so that its rightful king could take his place as ruler. Someone attempts to assassinate the patrician at Vimes' wedding. A shot goes through his thigh, another goes through Carrot. More shots are fired. Detritus has been hit, Carrot was hit in the shoulder. Vimes is bleeding too. They wait for their moment to strike from behind the patrician's carriage. Colin enters the Tower of Art in pursuit of the assassin. He finds Cuddy's corpse. The assassin knocks Colin out before fleeing. Vimes and Carrot find Dr. Cruces in the sewers. Cruces had been looking for Edward's body, which Nobby had removed earlier. Cruces had planned on using it to frame Edward for the patrician's death and admits to the boy's murder as madness descends upon him. Angua appears and attacks. Cruces kills her and flees. Vimes pursues Cruces. Carrot doesn't want to leave her side. Vimes gets into a fight with Cruces. Cruces gets away. Vimes continues his pursuit and eventually corners him. It looks like Vimes is going to shoot Cruces with the gun he got off him when Carrot appears. Carrot talks Vimes down. Vimes drops the gun. Cruces retrieves it and shows Carrot the evidence that he could be king. Carrot runs Cruces through with his blade. Vimes is in shock about everything. Carrot brushes the news off. Carrot destroys the gun. They leave. Carrot intends to bury Angua. Carrot misses the wedding. Angua appears before him. Only Silver can kill her. The Watch and friends bury Cuddy. Carrot meets with the patrician to share the Watch's requests, which include bringing the Watch up to an establishment strength of 56 and opening the old watch houses, thus on page 408. Carrot is promoted to captain and Vimes to commander of the Watch. Carrot arrives at the Vimes' residence and informs Sam of the news. Sam is also to be knighted. Sam is excited and immediately plans out how to organize his new and improved watch. And that's the end of the novel. And now, on to my book review. I felt as though this novel was a lot more serious and organized than many of the books that came prior in the series, particularly those involving Rincewind. I also felt as though it was slower, mainly because it included several unnecessary passages and chapters, and as though it wasn't as humorous as some of the other Discworld novels because of its more serious nature. It's basically a murder mystery. I was also surprised that the carrot being king of Ankh-Morpork thread is mentioned in the synopsis on the back cover and is mentioned early on in the novel until basically being dropped until the very end. I think I would have preferred to see more of it throughout so it didn't seem like a forgotten thread Pratchett had to hastily wrap up. Other than that, I really don't have much to say about this one. It wasn't bad by any means, but it also wasn't my favorite. I gave it a 3.4 out of 5-star rating. And there you have it, my summary and review for Terry Pratchett's Men-at-Arms. If you like what you saw here today, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of my review, this novel, what your favorite Discworld novel is. I always like to know what you guys think. Also, smash that like button until it's blue. Subscribe, ring that bell so you'll know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.